Kia ora, Hawke's Bay. Here's your news wrap for Thursday, 9 May 2024. Transpower has announced today it will consult on its preferred plan to improve the resilience of Hawke's Bay's electricity supply by strengthening its Redcliffe substation against future weather events. Transpower Executive General Manager Grid Delivery, Mark Ryle, said the planned investment in the substation is part of the ongoing recovery effort from the major damage done to the region's electricity infrastructure by Cyclone Gabrielle.
The intention is to build back better and more resilient at Redcliffe substation, rather than the other options that we've looked at, which included moving substation to another location somewhere in the Hawke's Bay. So the reason we've chosen that is with the current modern engineering standards, we can build the site back in a resilient way. We can build it back quickly to get that resilience for the community. We can continue to add resilience as we go forward. The reality of trying to move to a new location would add a significant number of years, potentially 10 years to that time frame, and cost consumers 5-6 times potentially the cost of rebuilding back here.
Transpower's plan is to build new high voltage equipment and raise the ground level of the substation to protect it from similar weather events in the future. Transpower estimates it will cost up to $35 million to rebuild the substation in the same location. Transpower will provide more detail once consultation with the community on the preferred plan begins, which is expected to take place later this year. The government is promising that 83% of New Zealanders will receive tax relief in the budget later this month. In a pre-budget speech this morning, Finance Minister Nicola Willis said the budget would be moderate and responsible. In reaction, political commentator Peter Dunne said that having promised cuts at the elections, National had little choice but to deliver them.
Well, it's part of the typical pattern of ministers of finance before the budget, trying to set the scene. She didn't give too much away, but she gave enough away, I think, to set a bit of flavour. She talked about the tax cuts, so they're obviously going ahead, but they're going to be more modest than first intended. She also talked about this not being a budget of austerity, and that's clearly a reference to earlier tough budgets and a fear that some people had that this might be in that vogue.
Wairoa Mayor Craig Little says the substandard condition of State Highway 2 to Napier is unacceptable. He says that the road is vital for the economy of his community and something urgent needs to be done. A road with many passing lanes, which is suitable for trucks, is essential. Little is calling on the government and relevant agencies to find options for the road.
We're probably 15 months on from the cyclone. We've still got huge delays. It took me probably nearly 3 hours to get down to Hastings the other day. That's just unacceptable. When you can imagine there's so many people that have to go there for their health services, and so many of those people aren't well to start with. It's a substandard road. There's a lot of one lane areas, a lot of delays, and I think we should be just looking at getting it restored to a 2-lane carriageway and then looking at what other options there are to improve that road.
In an update from a story yesterday, a 36-year-old man appeared at the Napier District Court today charged with offensive disturbing use of a cell phone. This follows multiple reports to police of cell phone harassment towards women in Hawke's Bay. The man has been remanded on bail to reappear in court later this month. Members of the New Zealand Nurses Organisation NZNO have held public rallies at more than 20 locations across the country today, including one in Hastings at the Stortford Lodge Corner, as part of NZNO's National Day of Action 2024. The rallies follow information NZNO has received from Te Whatu Ora under the Official Information Act that reveals the extent of the staffing problem in New Zealand. This day of action follows on from the junior doctors striking for 25 hours on Tuesday this week. Nurses and healthcare assistants are also rallying for safer staffing ratios ahead of this month's budget. That's your wrap for Thursday. For more on all these stories, head along to the Hawke's Bay app or hbapp.co.nz. I'm Jack Riddell and I'll see you tomorrow with more news from Hawke's Bay. Mā te wā.